Skills and self-mastery, presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
We're doing fantastic. I'm feeling real good.
Killing the game. Let's get it.
Last night was so much fun. We had that improv podcast just sort of spontaneously. For those of you who didn't attend last night's show, we announced that Chaos Comedy is coming back. Very excited for that, so that'll be more news about that will be coming out soon. If you're watching right now, please want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, help us to spread this light-driven content that we're trying to do. And speaking of a light-driven person, we've got an amazing guest on the show today. Just a staple in our local industry here and somebody that we personally love quite a bit. Angie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How is life?
Oh my gosh, so good.
So Angie Seger, tell me a little bit about your connection to Signature and kind of how that all went down with you and Terri.
Oh my gosh. Well, I grew up in Arizona. I was born and raised, and I've heard about Signature. I basically have been acting through my came out of the womb acting. It's in my blood, and then I moved to San Diego and pursued more of the acting and had a hospitality industry experience. And so when I came back to San Diego, from San Diego to Phoenix, I wanted to be with Terri. I knew so much about her, and I auditioned for her, and it was just great. I mean, initially I was just an actor, not just an actor, but an actor and a model with her back in the day. And then, after a while, she said, help, and I need you, and I want you a part of the team. So I now am her agency director, and we are an amazing team. I have learned from the best. She's amazing. She's my mentor. And, originally it was Bobby Ball, and Bobby Ball was Terri's mentor. And that's what we're all about, is mentorship. So that's pretty much how we got started.
That's awesome. And, so I've heard that name, Bobby Ball, before. I know Terri, obviously. But Bobby Ball it seems like maybe she was kind of the godmother of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
is this true?
Absolutely. And I wish I would have met her. But I feel like I have, and I feel like she's, in our lives still, based on, all the experiences Terri has passed on to us and everything she's learned from Bobby Ball. But yeah, I've heard some amazing things, and, I hope that, we're passing on that legacy that she started so many years ago, over probably 45 years ago. But Terri is actually celebrating her 30th anniversary with Signature this year.
Wow, that's amazing. So okay, so I know, like, we have referred many of our students over there to your place for talent and modeling, and nothing but great things. We love working with Signature.
It's very clear, as a little side note, that everyone is like in love with you guys, because this chat is blowing up.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's blowing up with
nice,
love.
Good.
Up.
Okay, so let them know they can ask some questions, and we'll be happy to jump on there.
Absolutely.
So when you're looking for talent, let me ask you, what is it that you're looking for when people are coming in?
That's a great question. We represent people from 6 months to age 90, in all ethnicities. We're very specific of who we bring on, but we also may see some people with like those diamond in the roughs that maybe they don't have the experience, but they have the ability to take direction, or they have a really good look, or they have a need that we're looking for at the time. Every day is different, as you know. Our needs are changing all the time, but we do have to have the product, and I always call ourselves the actors and models that we're tools, so I hate to say that we're tools, but in a way we're marketing ourselves. So we're always looking for people that are willing to be driven and have a passion for this industry, the ability to have rejection, but yet get back up and keep going, the attention to detail, and also paying attention to your agents and following their direction. And that's really what we're looking for. And also that loyalty and commitment and ability to take that journey.
Yeah, that's amazing. So on our end, when we're referring out agents, I'm very specific about trying to help actors, like from our end, help them with the tools to really find the agent themselves. Because my theory has always been it really is a working relationship that's going to be long term.
Right.
So as an actor, when you're seeking your agent, my advice is going to be to do your research, meet the agents, find who do you get a really good vibe for, who do you think is going to fight for you, who really wants you on their roster, and then to understand the relationship. You have to understand what the relationship is between actor and agent, so that you know what your job is, your position in that relationship, and how you can help them help you, essentially.
Yeah.
So
that's so true.
So that's usually our philosophy. So someone will say, hey, well, what about an agent? And then what we do, because I like to brag that we've got 100% sign rate.
Oh, that's great.
Which we do. It's true. But the reason is because I don't refer somebody anywhere unless I know that they're signable. And so the idea being, what we do is we try to work people's minds to the place where their skill set is already beyond what would have been enough to get into an agency. And then we're like, okay, so now, like, that's a guarantee you're going to get signed. So now just keep pushing this way. And then, that just becomes a part of your journey. Because I'm sure you've seen this before. A lot of people will tend to get an agent as if it's the end goal, and they stop progressing. So you get them and they're all fired up, and then all of a sudden they just sort of stop and wait for you to do all the work. And it's like, no, that's not how it works.
It's a team. It's a team. That's so true. And I appreciate that about everything you do at Deering and Phoenix Casting. I think it's great because that's how I was when I was acting. I had a choice, and in San Diego and California, and I met with the different agents, and they were great. But, I just went to the ones that I felt were gonna connect with me, and that was like a family. This is business, but we're also a family. And the thing is that there's just like with you, there's competitors in acting schools and casting directors. There's also competitors with agents. But realistically, we all have our gifts, and we all have our abilities, and there's a core group of agents, and some people that kind of hop around from agent to agent, or don't give it enough time to really develop that relationship, especially now during COVID. We don't know really what to expect from day to day, but I think it's just like watching a news channel or like a streaming channel. You all have your different channels you watch. Maybe you watch a different channel more than somebody else, but they're all providing service, and that's what we do. And it's about connecting with your agent, connecting with the models and actors, and we can feel it. Even I have to say, when we're in the audition room, when we're meeting people, there's a connection. There's an energy, that we feel with either the talent, the model, or the parent. And obviously changing a little bit, that we're not in person right now. We're doing some Zoom meetings. So having to kind of, obviously get that energy through the Zoom and virtual is a challenge. But, that's what our job is, just to be able to tell that.
Well, and then what's interesting too, and this is where we're coaching from, is this place of, I was teaching actors right back in March, just saying, okay, well, guess what? This is the new way. You need to now learn how to act in the box. So and that means audition in the box and like find an agent in the box. Like, this is a thing now where there are going to be jobs, and we've already seen them on TV, where the entire commercial has been shot, inside the box, and because that's where we're getting used to that thing, So it's all right, there's no stopping us. Money didn't disappear; it's still going to flow someplace. And we just have to make sure that we're a part of that process, and that we're all just sort of in this thing together, but understanding that there's no reason to stop right now. It's just you just have to adjust where you're coming from, and then better your skills in this new way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting, and you can tell. I think that's one of the things about Signature and our team is that we have passion for it. We have that energy as well. We don't just expect it from our models and actors. We have it too. We want them to work. We want them out there training. And I got to tell you, Matt, there's times that we interview people and we feel like, hey, they have ability, but we could bring them on and we can tell them to get training. But they don't. Sometimes they don't get to training and they sit because they're not ready.
Yeah.
We don't want to send them to casting directors and not look good. And also we don't want to, not look good. So we will take opportunities to say, we're really interested in you, but get some training and come back, or maybe we have that, that desire to sign them and we're like, we want you, got to get that training. And then we have the experienced people that have the training and have the resume, but we always still encourage training. You're never beyond training. You always should be.
Yeah. That's the point of the book here. Hey, Brad guy.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's time now for Brian Sweeney's Shameless Plugs. Shameless Plugs.
Oh my, that's a long one.
Yeah, I know, it's too long.
We'll work on that. The book is Acting is My Day Job, 7 Strategies to Market and Make Money as an Actor. And that is the exact point. It's to help actors figure out how to make this their job. And really, Matt goes deep into the business side of this. He talks about how to create really good habits as an actor that will set you up to be able to be that person on the roster that you think of right away, because you're right on your stuff. So you can get it on Amazon. You can get it pretty much anywhere in the world where you can get stuff. So yeah, check it out. It's going to be an awesome ad for all of you.
Yeah, it was just an interesting concept attached to this idea of, no matter what your skill level is, to be training. It's training. I mean, we're obviously a school, so we're like training, but it's making this a daily habit. It's got to be your day job. If you don't consider it a job that you put real time into and effort, then it will slip away, just like anything else. You have to be pushing forward in whatever you're doing. And anybody who's seen any level of success, I know, Angie, you've come a long way in 10 years, and you look back at where you were and you're like, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing if I wasn't progressing daily,
Yeah. So we got a lot of questions over here.
All right, we'll get there in a second. I need to brag on Angie first.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So as a casting director on our side, I can just tell you, and this is for everybody out there that's watching, if you don't get to see ever the behind the scenes at Signature, it is such a delight to work with you. I just have to tell you this. I mean, because castings can be stressful, and this business, because it's so much hurry up and wait, can be tense, and even in any of those situations, you're always so kind and so loving, and your emails are always they're just fun to read, and it'll, even if you're unhappy, you're gonna go, okay, hey, we're grateful, and we this and this, and then, hey, let me fight for my talent, and we're like, yes, of course. Like, it makes it that much more fun to help if we ever possibly can. So I want to say thank you for that, first of all, and then second of all, when we're selecting people, and have been doing this for a long time now, it feels like you've always got a very diverse group to choose from. Has diversity always been a big deal and a focus for Signature?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's our mantra, basically. I mean, even in the office, we have diversity. We have, we're not in the office right now, we're working remotely, but our staff has always been a diverse group of people, male, female, every ethnicity, and, older, younger, that's the idea. We need ethnicity, we need diversity, we need, ideas. And so that's what we're all about. That's what Terri has always instilled in us.
Well, we appreciate it. And we've always noticed that from a casting perspective. We've always known that that's been something that was important to Signature. So, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Brad guy, you got a question for us from the YouTube audience?
Yeah, I got quite a few. And one, I'd like to start with Joanne, who's a student here, Joanne Stafford.
Sure.
And yeah, she's one of yours, and she's so awesome, so kind. I really like her question because it goes right into service. So this is quite interesting. And I'm talking on this before we even ask the question. I want everyone to sort of think through this. When you come from a service mindset, it's so powerful. It's just, even just reading the comment, I was like, dang, like I gotta read this, you know? So her question here, it just moved. Let me grab it for you.
Oh my God.
Okay, here it is. Shout out. First, she shout outs to your team, shouts out to us just at how awesome we are. And then she goes like, what are the top 3 most important things your talent can do to the signature team to help them pursue their career? So basically, like, how can they help serve you to better themselves and better your agency? Like, and I just thought that's so cool. Like, it's talking about how they can grow, but also how they can help. Oh my gosh, so cute. How they can help you grow.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but my lovely dog Precious, our top model at Signature. Oh, look at, she's wearing her Signature.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
So very cute.
We're very dog friendly, animal friendly at Signature. We have charities. Home for Good is our charity right now, and they're very dear to our hearts. So support your local animal charities. So.
So we've got a rescue in the office as well, Terri.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Terri, so happy to hear
We'd
that.
like we'd like to introduce you here to Annie.
Oh.
Joey rescued Annie. She was being she was just being sort of left outside in the heat when he found her, and he's wearing the Deering Studio branded shirt, or she is. I'm sorry.
That is so great. That is awesome. We love that. Rescues are amazing. So thank you for doing that. That's
yes,
amazing.
absolutely. We agree. So all right. So back to the question here. It was how can the talent out there, if they would like to serve Signature, how can they help you? With your mission, vision, values. I mean, what an amazing question.
That is so good because, like you said earlier, it's a team. Basically, we're serving each other, and we're providing services for them. They're providing services for us. And I would say the most important thing is to be available for the calls. Answer the phone calls, answer the emails as quickly as possible. Because in this industry, I know people have a lot of other things going on in their lives with careers and jobs, but this is a business, and so the easier I can reach people and the team, that we can get checking availability, or can you do this, and can you are you confirmed for this, is so helpful to us. And in some cases, it might be the night before we need to search for someone, and I already know in my head who will answer the phone. I already know in my head who will respond. And you want to be that person. You want to be that one that can react and get to us with the information needed as quickly as possible. So I say that would be number one. I would say, being prepared in auditions and callbacks and bookings. It's one thing to, just show up, and it's another thing to absolutely be prepared. So everything that you give us as the casting director, we give to them, and we want to make sure they're prepared. Don't wait till the 2 minutes before you go into the audition to start memorizing your lines. Get to know your lines. Train as well. Ongoing training is huge. That's the thing that I want to go back to real quick. When I was acting myself, I was my best when I was studying weekly. I was on fire. And, if you don't do it for a while, you become rusty. And I had my community and with my acting classes in California and in Arizona. And that's the thing is I was at my best. And that's when I was having more auditions and bookings. So I encourage people to take advantage of, what Deering provides, because it is really a service that, when you're in it, just like any profession, you're going to be practicing, you're going to be working hard at it. And then when it happens, you're ready. And so I would say that bleeds into the, being prepared for those opportunities. Don't just wing it, because it won't happen. And then the third thing is, I guess, prepared, just having your tools, your headshots. When we tell you to get updated headshots, look like your headshot. When I submitted my headshot to you for this event, I realized I submitted a very old headshot. And I don't look like that anymore. So I kind of did the number one rule not to do in this industry is, submit your current picture and how you look, because we don't want any surprises in the audition room, and you don't either. So being prepared, we always tell people get updated photos. We'll always encourage different photographers and recommendations, and Terri and the team have an eye for what works. Everybody's different. Every casting director is different. Every client is different. So headshots and model cards may work differently for each client. So maybe one person doesn't like the headshot that they got, but another person does. So we try to encourage it to be a, understanding that we have the eye for that, and to trust that, and trust the recommendations for the acting studios as well, which we always recommend you. And then getting their resume updated. So, I know for you, when you have people come in, to have their resume and headshot stapled, just certain things like that, just to be prepared, being on time. So that's what I would say.
So before we move on to the next question here, I just, because it came from Joanne, I just want to say thank you to you guys, because Joanne would not have been an actress if it wasn't for you guys.
That's right.
She's been training at our studio. She's a wonderful piece of our community in our adult classes, and her daughter's in our teen classes, and they've done camps, and they light up the room. But they both grind. They train so hard, and they're so fun to be around, and so that's something where I can't even imagine like her not being here. So that's one of those things where, like,
that's so awesome. And I think that was Joey. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Joey. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and that's, I light up, as you can see when you brought up Joanne. When we tell our actors and models to get the training, and they're doing it, and we see them on your shows, and we see them training, we're like, yes, because we know that they're going to be ready.
Yeah.
We know that they're even feeling more confident in their ability to do the job. So that's great.
I'm going to jump on this training idea too. That there's something to what you said that's so powerful about the weekly training and how you felt your best at that time. We've got a mantra around here, especially during tough times. And so, in the acting industry, just like a lot of industries, like sales or anything else, but there's sometimes there's not a guarantee tomorrow, or when you don't know when things are going to come, and so it can be disheartening. And so what the ongoing work does when you're working on yourself in that way, it builds momentum. It maintains the momentum that's pushing you forward in between the jobs, so that you are feeling confident, you're feeling good. Momentum is huge.
Oh, yeah.
If we look at a sports game or something like that, when the momentum changes, you can feel it and it starts going the other direction. Well, you want to maintain that positive forward momentum. And I totally agree about Joanne. And then I would also like to jump on something else, and this is just my opinion. I'm not the agent here, but I'm going to answer because your answers I thought were so humble and nice. But to Joanne, who asked the question, and this is not for you actually, Joanne, because you already do this. But for other actors out there, the question was also like, how can I help the agency? And obviously everything Angie said first is true and should come first. But I'm also going to add, don't forget to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because your agent, the casting directors, even the coaches, but your agent especially, it can be a thankless job, and you have no idea how much work they do for you behind the scenes. And I've watched Angie grind and grind and grind, been a part of a casting, and then nobody from Signature happened to get that one, and it's like, and she doesn't care. She turns around and then boom, she's ready for the next one, and then the next one, everyone from Signature books the job. So just know that your agent here, Angie from Signature, and all the Signature team, they work so very hard for you. So even if you don't book the job or whatever, just don't forget to be grateful. When you walk into a casting, be grateful. When you get submitted for an audition, be grateful. Just saying thank you, leaving a little thank you card, I can tell you, just for us here, it puts a little wind in your spirit when when people notice the hard work that you're doing. And I know a lot of you do notice it, but don't be afraid to go ahead and shout out your agent. Review Signature on Google. Give them a 5-star review. I mean, do the little things that really make a difference, because we see it and it matters to us. So and Joanne is just one of these people who's already doing that. So I'm just going to say thank you, Joanne, for doing it already. But this is good advice for everybody else.
Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Joanne. Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing for us is that, so many times they don't know, when they don't get an audition, they don't know that how many times we've submitted them for projects, and they don't get picked.
Right.
So we're always working behind the scenes and, working evenings and weekends. And, I try to have a little bit of a life and get some sleep and have some personal life. My husband would love it if I had a little bit more time. But you know what? That's how we are. We want to be there for you as the casting director. We want to provide the best talent. And thank you for saying that. And Joanna, obviously. And we have an amazing roster of people that are so wonderful. But you're right. I mean, there's times where we don't get that thank you, or we get kind of a snippy response or like, what are we doing? What are you doing for me? And it's like, that doesn't sit well with anybody, I don't think. I think it has to be, hey, you know what, thank you for the opportunities, or even just an email, checking in saying, I just want to let you know this is what I'm doing. I'm studying with hearing, and I'm doing this master class. And I, at the time in theater, in a show, we try to go and see them. And is there anything that I could be doing more for more opportunities? Let me know. We love that.
Yeah.
We love that because that's a very nice way to say, is there anything else I should be doing? And sometimes we get the emails, very rarely, but sometimes we get an email that isn't that way. And it's like, that hurts. And we're human. And we work really, really, the whole entire team, Rose Angel, Darian, and, Bella, and all the people prior to the staff right now that have created this amazing agency, that have moved on to other things. They are all part of what we are today, and it is sometimes a thankless job. And so, if I can thank you for that, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you got any more questions, Bright Guy, or you want me to move forward over here?
We got quite a few. So
let's dive into a couple.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And just a lot of love, just a lot of love. I gotta say, just so much love. So I'll probably do like a love moment there at the end. So Danielle, I think it's Dror, D-R-O-R. You'd probably know better than me.
Yeah, Danielle.
So Danielle said, we have 3 generations with Signature, and they are family, which I just think is just so cool. And then the question that she had was, if someone's looking for representation during the pandemic, how's that done right now? And I know on the website, there's the submissions page at signaturemodelsandtalent.com. But is there any sort of different way it's happening right now? Should talent be aware of that? And how do you handle your process?
That's a great question. Thank you, Danielle. I love you and love the generations. Love the family. Like you say, the family unit, we're family. So I would say the best way to submit is through our website. Go to the submissions tab, fill out the information as best as possible, and we review it. And if we feel that there's potential, we will bring you in for a Zoom. The next step is a self-tape. We're doing a self-tape first. Number one, to see how they do with the self-tapes, because right now there's a lot more self-tape opportunities and Zooming and virtual. So it gives us an idea, who has the ability to do that and also have the skill. Somebody may not have the ability to do a self-tape, but they have, and it's not such a great quality, but they have the ability. We'll still invite them in. So it's not like you have to have the best equipment right now. However, that would be the next step. And then after we review the tapes, then we decide who we want to bring in for a Zoom open call. And then we set it up where we meet with you for about 10 minutes, maybe have you do the commercial again, and just see how you take direction. And then, we get to know you a little bit. And then from there, if we are interested, we'll bring you on as a part of the agency. And that's pretty much it. And, I would say to be prepared for that is, someone getting the equipment ready for you. Do you have a decent microphone? Do you have decent lighting? I mean, it took me a while to kind of get this set up because I'm in my home, but I want to make sure I have the right box, like you said, Matt. You want to make sure it's not too busy, it's not distracting, and you have the right equipment or those opportunities. Because once we sign you, man, we're ready to rock and roll. So,
great question, Danielle. Thank you, Braga. You had another one?
Yeah. So Demarius Harvell would like to know. Yeah, I love seeing you react. See, this is proof right here.
Yeah.
You cannot fake that reaction, you know?
Oh.
There's something so cool about that. Matt, actually, at the beginning of the show, he does this thing, like, the reason we check in with you at the beginning is we love getting that genuine reaction out of you. And you can't fake that. Like,
Right.
you really can't. So the question is, do you think that an actor should move to LA once they become what he called a booker? Like, once they're, like, continuing to book, is that a good time to start looking at options in LA? Along with this, what's your sort of advice on this?
Good question. And now I can see you guys, so that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. I love looking at your faces. Look at those faces.
That's my bad.
She hasn't seen us till just now. That's hilarious.
Hey, hi.
We've been smiling at you from
whole
the beginning.
time.
Oh my gosh, you guys are great.
I realized
I've
when
just been
you
looking at
said that.
myself for the last 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, it's enough of me. That's a good question, because I think, you know, even when I started acting, I think every actor is like, oh, I gotta get to LA. That's gonna be my success. But then as I got more experienced and matured, I realized LA isn't necessarily successful for me. You know, that doesn't define me as if I'm in LA. Yes, there's more work in LA. I mean, I don't know about right now, but actually, you know, Arizona, there's a lot of work. So you know, I think some people get a little bit confused when they get their first booking, or maybe they have a one line or something like that, like, I'm going to LA, you know. I'd rather be a big fish in a little pond than a little guppy in a big ocean, personally.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go out to the big ocean, you know, you better be prepared. You better be solid and constantly training, and, you know, be able to listen. You know, so many people go into the audition room and they don't listen to the direction. You know, they're too busy thinking about, oh, what did I do? How did I do? How do I look? You know, so you may have them do one take, and then you give them direction to do it a different way. And they do it the exact same way because they're too busy thinking about how I rehearsed it, how do I look? Oh my gosh, I screwed up there, and they did not listen. And so, and that's what we also pay attention to in the audition room when we meet with them in the open call. We're like, are they listening to us? Do they take direction? So, I would say, you know, if your dream is to go to LA, be ready, but don't feel like, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. There's expenses, there's competition. So I would say, you know, if you're going to do the jump, do it, but do it when it's right. And if it feels right. If it doesn't feel right, don't go.
Remind me of who this is, Brad Guy?
This was Demarius Harvell.
Demarius, I'm going to jump on this one too here, and I'm gonna agree with Angie. So Angie, I've got the next book that I'm writing is called The Best Listener in the Room.
Oh,
and
cool.
And you would relate to it. And as a matter of fact, the back of our theater, I created this thing we call the listen wall, and it's this big wall that's the only thing that's not, because it's a black box theater, so the only thing that's not black is this one wall that's just like super bright, and then it just says listen on it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times we even have our castings in there, so the talent have to stare at this word that just says listen, you know, and hopefully it brings them down and kind of centers them before they audition. So I completely agree with you there.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, so when it comes to LA, my thought is very similar to Angie's. It's always been this way. And it's like you're going to be able to make success anywhere. We've had the opportunity to work with some of the biggest talent in Arizona, like already celebrities will then come and train privately here. And I can tell you that most of them don't live in LA. So you just don't assume you have to go there to be successful. I always tell people, go to LA if you want to live in LA. Like if you actually desire that move, cool. But it's sort of that same idea of the agency. It's not necessarily like a destination thing. It can be. Like for some people, it's a great move. And I've literally kicked people out of our studio before and said, go, because you could just feel it, like they belong there. So you have to decide, like, is this a place you belong is in LA? And if not, just understand that you can get a lot of work here and in Utah and, you know, Colorado. Like there's all kinds of places where you can get different jobs. And especially nowadays when we've opened the market up internationally via video, it's less important than ever that you have to be geographically stuck to a particular location. So, so yeah, I'd agree. I'd say don't necessarily rush out, but if it's meant for you, don't be afraid of it either. You know, so it's like, just make sure you're going for the right reasons.
Absolutely. And I think there's also a mindset that, you know, our actors in Arizona, they want opportunities in LA. And so they're like, I'll go, you know, if you have something for me, submit me, whatever, we'll do a self-tape, and if they book the job, they'll get there. Come hell or high water, they're going to get there for that booking. But when they move to LA and we have a project here, they don't think of it the same way.
Right.
And I tell them, no, you have to treat it just like you would if you were living here to go to LA. You get these opportunities, and the opportunities in Arizona are just as good as opportunities in California.
Absolutely. And I can tell you too, from a casting director standpoint, we have gone toe to toe with LA probably 4 times last year when I've been hired as a casting director and somebody else in LA was hired as a casting director. And essentially I look at it as a competition. I'm like, bring it. We're gonna beat you, you know, like Arizona's gonna book more people, and we almost always do. But then this is just a big alert to all the Arizona people. Know that this is a thing. Like 100%. This happens all the time, every year, where we are in competition with the mass markets. And so it's up to you to train and bring the talent and to be so good that from now on they say we don't feel the need to have a dual casting. We know we can get the talent from Arizona. Well, guess what? You have to be talented for that to happen. Yeah. So we have to be able to bring in enough people that have the right looks and have the right talent consistently, so that I can tell them, hey, yeah, these last 3 jobs, here's what happened. You know, someone asked me and they had a dual casting, and just so you know, we booked 90% of the people here. So you can go spend money in LA if you want to, but I don't think you need to. And I'd love to be able to have that conversation with producers moving forward.
Well, and that goes right into what we talked about with acting as my day job, and like taking classes and really training. Like, when it comes down to it, we talk about this a lot, and we're in the commercial section of our classes right now, so this is a huge topic. The one who really gets in there and gets it is the one who works the hardest and is the best. I mean, literally, I've seen castings where they were like looking for a very specific look, like a very, very specific look, and then someone comes in and just outshines everybody as far as like talent and work ethic, and they rewrite things around it.
Yeah.
Like, entire shows on television have done that, where there's like a character that was supposed to be a one-off character, and the actor just comes in with this phenomenal performance and a clear work ethic, and it's like, oh, we're gonna rewrite the whole. It happened with Breaking Bad. They rewrote the entire show around an actor who was supposed to be like a 2-episode character. Like, so
that's so true. You know, it's interesting that you're saying that, because I always get a little frustrated personally as an agent, but also as an ex-actor, when I hear that it's a Arizona company, or you know, a Arizona local, and they go to LA for auditions, and I'm like, why are you going to LA? Let's support the local community,
right?
You know, and I get it that there might be a misconception of the quality of actors in Arizona compared to LA, and that's what we have to change. You know, we have to change that, because there are some incredible actors in Arizona. And, you know, we've seen it where they end up having this great casting, and some in Arizona, some in LA, and they end up booking the LA actor, but the spot is like a little second, a little smidget of an actor going, you know, and you went to LA you put up an LA actor in a hotel for a couple of days. You paid for their travel, and I'm like, you couldn't find that here. And that's sad to me, but I mean, I get it. But that's where, I mean, I've been there. I've been in LA. I've been in California. So I understand that concept. But that's what we've been striving to achieve, is to change that concept.
Yeah, and it's hard because we're a right to work state. There's no union here, so for Arizona actors, I know this is something I've struggled with for forever. You know, to be SAG eligible and AFTRA eligible, but then, you know, when to become that or not become that, and what restrictions are there and whatnot. And the truth is, it goes the other way too, where companies from out of state will come here to film to take advantage of our right to work state. And a lot of times they'll even think to themselves, we're going to get cheap labor on the production end of things, and then we'll spend extra money on the talent side and we'll bring people in. And again, I'm the same way, where I'm going, you're spending all this money to fly somebody. you know, just trust me. You give me a chance to cast here, I'm gonna find you some really great talent and save you money, or give the money to the talent that's here locally, because, you know, when you're coming in from out of state, we want you to contribute to our state, obviously. But, you know, I mean, this is a deep issue that we shouldn't get into, you know, because obviously it involves like the government, it involves changing people's mindsets in general. So there's still some work to be done. But truthfully, I mean, from what I've seen, we do have a thriving market, and we do have actors booking jobs every day. Like there's not a day that goes by that there's not an actor booking some job in Arizona. So for you to be on the front line of that thing, to be one of the actors that's booking consistently, you can do it. You just have to work really hard to do it.
Well, and like you said, we can't really get into the deep change because it's bigger than us, but what we can do and what we have the ability to do is change within ourselves and the actors to get that training, to be ready, to be the best, so that they don't have to look elsewhere. So that we have control over, and that's is what we do as agents, is encourage that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, so we got time for one more question, Brad.
That's perfect. This is the last one I'd like to throw out. So this one deals with sort of market, and I just found it very interesting. So Juliana Cruz would like to know, are there a lot of Spanish-speaking opportunities in Arizona? And if so, is there like a specific agent that they need to go to that? And I kind of know the answer there, but like what does that look like for somebody like that, and what are the opportunities out there?
We're constantly seeking.
The agent you choose is Signature.
Yeah, right, exactly. Thank you. I was like, that's Belly.
Yeah. SignatureModelsandTalent.com. Yes. Go to our submissions page. Say that you saw us on Mornings with Matt. No, I'm serious. We are constantly looking for ethnicities. You know, that old saying, you know, ethnically ambiguous. You know, it's really big in Arizona, but to really find that is difficult sometimes. So absolutely, there's voiceovers, there's commercials that are looking for English and Spanish. So absolutely, we're always looking for Spanish speaking people, and also, you know, fluent in both as well.
Right. Yeah. So and that's a great point there. If you are fluent in Spanish and then English is a second language, you can work really hard on your English, or vice versa. If English is your first language, but you know Spanish really well, work on it, because 100% there are jobs that are asking for us to cast actors that can do one or the other. And if you happen to be able to do both, you get double paid. I mean, it's it's a great opportunity. So, and they would prefer that, because then it's like one shoot, it's one person, they know what they're getting. But it's that rare person that can put in the extra effort on both sides of that equation to be able to land jobs, you know, in that way. But man, if you can do that, and you put yourself in that position, you can really, really do well in this industry.
Oh yeah, and if you have, you know, generations, absolutely. We're looking for kids. We're looking for grandparents. So, you know, that's absolutely, we're looking for that. So we submit.
All right, so we're here at the end of our time, Angie. Do you have any? I know, can you believe it? Do you have any like specific question like that you'd like for to ask us in any way that we haven't hit today?
I think you've covered, you know, you've shared so much. You know, we instill it in our talent, but, you know, I'd like you to tell our talent and the talent out there, and actors and models. We also tell our models too, get training, because it's only going to help you as a model as well, to open up. So, you know, for our actors and the people that come in to audition you know, what is it you're looking for? What do you, I mean, I know that's a very broad question, but what are you looking for when a talent comes in to audition for you? I'm
so glad you asked this question. And really, so it starts a step before that. So this is a great opportunity to explain how this whole thing works. So we began back in 2007 as an acting school, and then we started our casting business because there was a need for it here locally, and so we stepped into that need, and that's where Phoenix Casting was born, which is a different company, but we can't help but bleed our values from Deering into the casting world. So we've always looked at casting as another opportunity to teach and to serve the local community here. And so here's what we do. When we get a casting that comes in, we submit it to all the agents who we respect, who we are very grateful for, because like I said before, they're all grinding and making our job easier and making you available, which is incredible. And so, but at the end of the day, the client comes to us and says, we want this thing. And I try to do a really good job of connecting with the client, listening deeply to the client, and trying to get a real picture of what they're looking for. Once I feel like I have that picture, when the talent gets submitted and comes in, I don't play favorites in any way, shape, or form. I don't look at which agent anybody's with. It's not part of my process. So what I'll do is I'll start by going, here's the picture I have. Here's all the pictures I see. So the number one thing actually is to make sure that your pictures are updated, especially digitally. Because if you don't have that picture, and by the way, it happens to me all the time. The agents will go, hey, just so you know, the picture's great, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool, but I don't have time. I'm sorry. Like, it's a hurry up and wait game where and I'll try my best, but half the time we're on this deadline, and it's like, I don't have time to go and like download somebody's photo from another website. Like, if it's not there and I can't see it, it's hard for me to include you in the casting in the first place. So the number one thing is put yourself in the ring. Give yourself a chance. I always say you can't win the lottery, you don't put your name in the hat, right? So be specific about that beginning process. And then that's our method. So our method is always like, when we start, it's client first. Like, we want to make sure that we deliver, that we go above and beyond their expectations. If they expect to get this type of talent, we want to deliver them even better than what they think they want. That's our goal. So we do that. Then from there, I do sort of like look through and make sure that every agent is represented in some way, shape, or form. But I can't just bring somebody in that I know the client's not looking for. So like, that won't work. But for the first round of selections, I'm just going, okay, who really fits the part? How do I serve client? Then in the audition room, I'm looking for who's listening, who took the direction, who really read through the instructions that, honestly, we spent probably 4 hours preparing to give you the best opportunity to succeed. And if you didn't even take the time to read it, you didn't even take the time to prepare the thing that we spent 4 hours trying to help you with, then it's like, okay, why am I supposed to spend extra time with you in the casting room if you didn't do the work on your end? So if you listen and you're prepared, like, I'm looking for that, then I'm like happy. Like, I want to coach you. I want to help you. I want to do what I do through Deering, through the casting, and make sure that your best face comes forward. So I'm looking for those people that are listening. I'm looking for people that are kind. I'm looking for people that are grateful. You know, when you walk in the room, ideally you should make everybody smile, and you should be polite, and you should be quiet, and you should be respectful, and like all those things. And if you come in with a chip on your shoulder, I'm going to warn you right now, I run most castings from the front desk, and we have stations over here, and people don't realize the casting director is greeting you behind the desk, and some people don't treat me very nice.
Wow.
And I just go, hey, cool, sign in, and a little check mark next to your name, because you know what? Like, why would you do that to anybody? I don't care. You think I'm a secretary? Like, that's an important job. So that type of thing matters. So just understand that when you get out of the car, you're already auditioning, and be prepared and listen, and then know that when you come and audition for us, you're going to get a tremendous amount of love, a tremendous amount of care. We really, really, really care about making sure that your experience here is good, and that the client ends up getting far beyond what they paid for. So if you meet us halfway, I promise you we're going to deliver 10x value back to you. We are a collective team, all of us, agents, casting directors, schools, talent. We're all in this thing together. But when we are working in that way, that's really cohesive. I mean, we've seen so much magic happen, and I know you have too, Angie. Like, it's amazing when you watch these projects get put together, and you're just like, wow, like, I was a part of that. You can be really proud of some of the work that we're doing here in Arizona. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so true, Matt. And we get that too at the auditions of the open call. You know, I'm sometimes out in the lobby if we're shorthanded and they're treating me not respectfully, and I'm like, I mean, and that's what we look for. We're like, if this is how you're going to treat us today, you're going to do that to the casting director tomorrow, and we will not tolerate that. You know, we want to make it a good environment for you and for our talent. You know, Terry's biggest mantra is talent first. our talent come first. We need to protect our talent, but we're also the customer service end for our clients, and we want to make sure we make this an incredible experience. We're providing that service for our clients. But we need to make sure that, and that's what we instill. We have an orientation. I don't know about agents. Some agents may not have an orientation. We have an in-person, well, not in-person now, Zoom orientation. But, we've already been booking some people through the pandemic that we've signed through this Zoom experience. And, but we instill it from the moment they sign with us, that it's about respect and it's about, common courtesy and attention to detail. And when you go to that audition room, I don't care if you're waiting a long time, you still be respectful, and that's the one thing I got to say about you guys, and you guys have been amazing. When our team submits, it's like you guys give us really a great selection at audition. And sometimes I'll be like, hey, can you see this person? And you listen. And I appreciate that you listen to my suggestions of who I think fits the role. Because ultimately, we know our talent too. And so I think that's great. And I appreciate the opportunities you give our talent.
Well, and that's a built respect thing too. I can tell you that I do respect you tremendously and I trust you. And it's a trust thing. Because at the end of the day, I know you're not throwing somebody in there just to be a number. If you say, hey, this person, I'm just gonna go yes. Like why would I say no? Again, I'm trying to deliver best value to our client on the other side of this thing. And if you think you can help me with that, why would I say anything but thank you? Of course, and we build the trust back and forth. So, and thank you, Angie. It's just amazing working with you over the years.
Oh, and the same to you guys, Shay and Brian, Joey, you, Matt. I mean, when I get your emails, I'm always excited, and the return respect is there. It's mutual. So we appreciate all you do for the community.
Well, between you and me and the live audience here, we got some more emails coming your way here for casting. So, yay! All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Mornings with Matt. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. Very important to us. That helps us to spread this light-driven content to the planet. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.